The Kryvath Dominion had never lost a border skirmish. Not in 300 years. Their war doctrine was simple. Overwhelming force delivered without warning against targets too small to matter. The mining colony of Esher Station mattered to no one. A speck of rock and steel orbiting a dead sun. Home to 400 human contractors extracting rare minerals for a company most of them had never met in person. No fleet, no defense grid, no reason by any calculation the Kryvath had ever made to expect resistance. Commander Vashtok Rel studied the colony through his cruiser's sensors. Unimpressed. Population 411. His tactical officer reported. No military signature. No warships in the system. Good, Vashtok said. This will be quick. He had done this before to a dozen other outposts belonging to a dozen other minor powers. Demand tribute. Show force. If they refused, make an example. It was efficient. It was, in the Dominion's eyes, mercy, a single lesson instead of prolonged war. He opened a channel to the station. Attention, Esher Station. This system now falls under Kryvath jurisdiction. Surrender your resources and your station will be spared. Resist, and it will be destroyed. The response came not from a general, not from a president, but from a woman named Elena Cho, station foreman, 43 years old, with grease under her fingernails and 22 years of mining experience. This is a civilian colony, she said, voice steady. We don't have anything for you to take a fight over. Turn around. Vashtok almost laughed. You have 30 minutes. What the Kryvath didn't know, what almost no one outside human space truly understood yet, was that humanity did not measure its strength by the size of its fleets alone. It measured it by what its people were willing to do for each other. Elena didn't send a distress call to a government. She sent one word into a private frequency, one that connected to a modest relay buoy drifting in the outer system, Blackstar. 300 light-years away, in a repair yard orbiting Titan, a ship shuddered to life. The USS Blackstar was not the Dominion's idea of a warship. She was old, a decommissioned exploration vessel refitted twice, patched more times than her crew could count, painted with scars instead of insignia. She had no grand name in any military registry. She was, officially, an independent contract response vessel. Unofficially, she was the reason 3 border colonies still existed. Her captain, a weathered man named Daniel Reyes, read the distress ping twice before he stood up. Elena's station, he said quietly. His helmsman didn't need to ask twice. Spooling the drive. Back at Esher Station, Vashtok's patience thinned. 29 minutes had passed. No surrender, no panic. Just silence and strange calm from a civilian population that, by every metric he knew, should have been begging. They're stalling, his weapons officer said. Shall we begin the bombardment run? Wait, Vashtok said, something needling at him. Humans didn't behave like this. His intelligence reports called them emotional, disorganized, prone to fracture under pressure. And yet the station's comms remained open, and Elena Cho's voice returned, almost gentle. You should really turn around, she said. Last warning. Vashtok's sensors flared. A single ship had entered the system. Not a fleet, not a battle group. One vessel, old by any scanning signature, weapons hot, trajectory locked directly on his cruiser. One ship, his tactical officer said, disbelief threading his voice. It's requesting nothing. No demands. No surrender terms. Hail them, Vashtok ordered. The image that resolved on his screen was not a general in ceremonial armor. It was Daniel Reyes, sleeves rolled up, eyes calm in the particular way of a man who had made peace with violence a long time ago. You're threatening people I know, Reyes said simply. That's not something we allow. You are one ship, Vashtok said. I have 11. I know, Reyes said. I counted. What happened next would be studied by Dominion tacticians for years, and never fully explained by their doctrine because their doctrine had no category for it. The Blackstar didn't retreat. It didn't call for reinforcements it didn't have. It moved toward the largest ship in Vashtok's formation, weapon systems screaming past their rated limits, because Daniel Reyes had learned long ago that the Dominion's tactics depended on fear working exactly as designed, and fear, unlike firepower, could be refused. The first strike crippled a Kryvath escort's shield generators. The second disabled another's engines. The Blackstar took hits, brutal, hull-scarring hits, and kept coming because retreat meant Esher Station burned, and that was a price its crew had already decided they would not pay. "Sir, this isn't rational combat behavior," the tactical officer said, voice rising. "They should have fled 2 minutes ago. They're outmatched." "I know," Vashtak said, and for the first time in his career, he felt something unfamiliar climb up his spine. Not fear of losing the battle, his 11 ships would win eventually. Fear of why they weren't winning faster. Fear of an enemy that calculated the odds, understood them completely, and chose to fight anyway. 3 more of his ships sustained critical damage. Not because the Blackstar was stronger, because it refused every opening to disengage, and a fleet built around the assumption that the enemy values self-preservation over everything else does not know what to do with a ship that doesn't. "Belay bombardment," Vashtak said quietly. "Belay all ships, defensive posture only." His weapons officer stared at him. "Sir, we still outnumber them 10-2. I said stand down," Vashtak snapped, and then quieter. "I don't understand what I'm looking at, and I will not lose more ships to find out." The Blackstar held position between the Kryvath fleet and Esher Station, battered, venting atmosphere from 2 hull breaches, and did not move. Elena Cho's voice crackled back onto the channel, calm as ever. "I told you to turn around." Vashtak looked at the wreckage of his formation. 3 ships crippled, 1 crew rescued mid-battle by a vessel that had, inexplicably, paused its own offensive to save enemy lives drifting in open space, because Daniel Reyes had ordered it, and no one on his crew had questioned him. "Why?" Vashtak asked genuinely. "Would you risk everything for 400 people you may not even know personally?" Reyes's answer was simple, unpolished, entirely human. "Because they're ours. That's all it takes." Vashtak said nothing for a long moment. Then he ordered his fleet to withdraw. He did not return to Esher Station. He did not return to any human colony again without extreme caution. And in his official report, heavily redacted, endlessly debated by Dominion Command, he wrote a single line that would be quoted for decades. "They do not fight to win. They fight because someone needs them to. This makes them the most dangerous species we have ever encountered." And for the first time, the galaxy understood what it truly meant to be human.